Hey, what's up? Okay, so I'm gonna make this video. It's not about drugs, it's not about tortoises. It's basically about the most toxic workplace environment I ever worked at. And it was Jimmy John's right off of U of L's campus in Louisville. And I'm gonna name and shame because they fucking deserve it. I should be a millionaire. And I'm not, because I didn't ever, sue them or bring any charges against them. And I absolutely should have, and I regret it every fucking day. When I left this place, I had literally 5 full pages of 10-point text incidents. I worked there for about 2 years. I don't know why I stuck it out that long. I just fucking did. So, alright. For a little bit of context, you need to know, this was my second semester of college that I started working here. And, I really needed the money, and I didn't have a car at the time, so I needed someplace that I could walk to, and Jimmy John's was the place, and they were hiring. The other thing you need to know is that Louisville is kind of weird in that there's a lot of, I think public and private, all boys schools there, like Catholic boys schools. I don't understand a lot about Catholicism. I'm not a Catholic. I grew up in a very Methodist town. I think Catholicism is really interesting, and there's a lot of non-practicing Catholics in Louisville, which is just something I don't fully understand, because it's not like Judaism, but yeah. Anyway, so that's what you need to know. I started working here, and I should have known from the interview, because the interview was really bad. Basically, all they did was ask me my name and then what hours I could work, and then I was hired. And I worked alongside 2 groups of people. One was this all boys club, which was 10, 15 guys that all grew up together, went to these Catholic boys schools, and they came from money, but they were working, and they were just really, it was like a boys club. I don't know, it's like being in a frat house. And then I also worked alongside a bunch of criminals. All my drug dealers worked at Jimmy John's at this time, and I also worked alongside violent offenders, legitimate felons that were out on parole. Don't know why they were hired, but they were. And then it was just me. When I got hired, there was 5 women working there, and then over time that just dropped down to me and my female manager. So things started out okay, but pretty quickly they started getting a little bit crazy. People started coming up, all the guys started coming up behind me with knives and stuff, and they would always frame this as a joke, but they would come up behind me with knives, the long serrated knives that you used, and they would threaten to stab me and rape me and kill me, and they would threaten to do that every day. And I had to walk to and from there, and so they would threaten to do that on my way home, watch your back when you're walking home, because we're coming, whatever. And this was a joke. Obviously it doesn't feel like that much of a joke when it's you against 10 other people and they're all saying the same shit. So there was that. And then even in the back room, in the freezer area, they would corner me back there and say stuff like this. In addition to this, I was constantly verbally harassed. I had made this choker that was kind of an art piece, and they were oh, only sluts wear chokers. So I kept wearing it because I was I really like this, I made it. And they were just yeah, you're a slut and all this. And they would say this in front of customers. The only people that ever stuck up for me were fucking customers, because they were absolutely shameless about this. So they would do this in front of a bunch of customers, and they would also massage me and stuff. They would come up behind me while I was taking orders and massage my back and my butt and my shoulders, and then customers would be what the fuck are you doing? So it was extremely awkward, and very uncomfortable. And so I worked with all of my drug dealers, so I was obviously extremely addicted to Xanax at this time as well. And it kind of felt necessary because my anxiety was so bad, because I always thought that I was gonna get like raped and murdered at work. So it made my addiction much worse. After I'd worked there for like maybe a year and a half, I finally went to my female manager. Like at this point, and it was kind of funny because one of my bosses was like, why can't we ever keep women working here? It's like, oh, I don't fucking know. That's crazy. Like, it's so obvious why you can't keep women working here, because you guys are terrible. But I went back into the room with her, like into the back, and I was like, hey, can you get them to stop saying that they're gonna rape and murder me and coming up behind me with knives? And she was like, it's just jokes. And I was like, I don't know, like it's making me really uncomfortable. And so then like 10 seconds later, after this talk, she like took me out into the main area and she gathered everyone up, and I was like, can we do this privately? And she's like, no, we need to do it, don't be such a coward. I'm like, okay. So like in front of like 10 other guys, she was just like, Mel can't take a joke and you need to stop talking to her. So for the next like 6 months, nobody talked to me. And they kept doing the same shit. Like they kept coming up behind me with knives and saying a bunch of crazy shit about me. They just weren't talking to me, which in one sense was a little bit better, and in another sense was way worse, because it's like, okay, now you're not even really joking with me, you're literally just, threatening me. But I wasn't like with them and in these conversations as much, so that was okay. And also, like, the boss was a complete criminal. Like, he would come in and do a bunch of shit that you're not supposed to do at Jimmy John's. Like, I mean, he would, like, bake his sandwiches and stuff, which is whatever, but he would, like, take money out of the cash register. And, also, I would never eat at Jimmy John's. Like, it's so disgusting. I made basically minimum wage the entire time I was there, and the place was disgusting. Nobody gets paid enough to actually care about, like, health standards. So, like, we would drop bread on the floor and then just pick it right back up, put it in the oven, and or even like already baked bread, and would just like use it. So I mean, it was gross. I would never eat at Jimmy John's. But anyway, I kept working there for a while, and every day when I walked to and from work, I would legitimately consider stepping out into traffic and killing myself. So my mental health was very bad working there. And since I was so addicted to drugs, I OD'd, and then I quit my job like 3 separate times. And the third time I called them and I was like, I quit, my boss was like, I fucking know, you stupid junkie, like, you quit 3 days ago. I was like, oh shit, I didn't remember. And I never went and picked up my last paycheck, and I just stopped walking by the store. Like, I just never walked by the store again. It was honestly pretty traumatizing to work there, and I could have sued the shit out of them and been a millionaire, because I had, like, all of this proof that I had done stuff. Like, everyone that I worked with was also, like, high all the time and drunk, and it was just such a dangerous and horrible working environment. I'm lucky that I work in a much better place now, but yeah, I don't know. Don't go to Jimmy John's. And that's the story. All right. Peace.